Hello and welcome to French Philosophers React, a philosophical take on the news headlines for today, September 4th, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast and can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to the news or to the details of French philosophy. In the news today, a defamation case involving Australian Senator Linda Reynolds and her former staffer Brittany Higgins has taken a dramatic turn. Reynolds is suing Higgins over 3 social media posts made in July 2023 that she alleges damaged her reputation. In court on Wednesday, Reynolds' lawyer, Robert Bennett, claimed that Higgins had deleted relevant messages to curate a narrative and had also shown a visceral hatred of Reynolds. He argued that the posts were not just about criticizing Reynolds, but were intended to harm her reputation and bring down the Morrison government. Bennett also pointed out that Higgins' social media posts had a significant reach, with one post being seen by over 10,000 accounts. He claimed that Higgins had arrogantly trivialized Reynolds' claims of poor mental and physical health resulting from her decision to go public in 2021 about her alleged rape. However, Higgins' lawyer, Rachel Young, argued that Higgins was exercising her right to free speech and was not trying to silence anyone. She also pointed out that Reynolds had made attempts to shut off the option for sexual assault complainants to go to the media or Parliament, which was met with criticism from Higgins. The trial has been ongoing for 5 weeks, with both sides presenting their cases. The court is expected to deliver its verdict soon. Key points. Reynolds is suing Higgins over 3 social media posts made in July 2023 that she alleges damaged her reputation. Bennett claimed that Higgins had deleted relevant messages to curate a narrative and showed a visceral hatred of Reynolds. The court was shown screenshots of Higgins' social media posts, which had a significant reach. Young argued that Higgins was exercising her right to free speech and was not trying to silence anyone. The trial has been ongoing for 5 weeks, with both sides presenting their cases. So what might French philosophers have to say about this news item? The defamation case involving Australian Senator Linda Reynolds and Brittany Higgins has ignited a firestorm of debate around free speech, power dynamics, and the performative nature of social media. Through the lens of French philosopher Jean Baudrillard's work, I argue that this trial exemplifies the ways in which our hyperreal world is characterized by simulations, models, and representations that shape our understanding of reality itself. In his seminal text, Simulacres et Simulation, Simulacra and Simulation, Baudrillard posits that our contemporary world is one in which simulations and models have supplanted the real. We no longer experience reality directly, but instead interact with its representations, which are often created and curated for specific purposes. In the context of this trial, we can see how both Reynolds and Higgins engage in a battle of simulations, each attempting to construct and disseminate their own version of reality. Reynolds' lawyer, Robert Bennett, claims that Higgins deleted relevant messages to curate a narrative, implying that she manipulated her online presence to present a particular image. This is a classic example of what Baudrillard calls the procession of simulacra, where the representation precedes and shapes our understanding of reality. By controlling the narrative, Higgins is able to shape public opinion and influence the court's perception of events. However, Bennett also argues that Higgins' social media posts were intended to harm Reynolds' reputation and bring down the Morrison government. This highlights another key aspect of Baudrillard's theory, the notion of hyperreality. In a hyperreal world, simulations are not just passive representations, but active agents that shape our understanding of reality. Higgins' social media posts can be seen as a form of hyperreal activism, using the platforms to create a new reality that challenges the existing power structures. Higgins' lawyer, Rachel Young, counters by arguing that her client was exercising her right to free speech and was not trying to silence anyone. This raises important questions about the relationship between free speech and power dynamics in our hyperreal world. As Baudrillard notes in The System of Objects, our contemporary society is characterized by a proliferation of objects and signs, which creates a new economy of attention and influence. In this context, Higgins's social media posts can be seen as a form of symbolic capital, using the platforms to accumulate influence and shape public opinion. However, Reynolds' attempts to silence her through defamation lawsuits represent a classic example of what Baudrillard calls symbolic violence, where the powerful use their resources to suppress dissenting voices. The trial itself has become a spectacle, with both sides presenting their cases in a dramatic performance of simulations and representations. The court is expected to deliver its verdict soon, but regardless of the outcome, this case will have far-reaching implications for our understanding of free speech, power dynamics, and the performative nature of social media. Through Baudrillard's lens, we can see how this trial exemplifies the ways in which our hyper-real world is characterized by simulations, models, and representations that shape our understanding of reality itself. As we navigate this complex landscape, it is essential to recognize the power dynamics at play and to critically evaluate the simulations and representations that surround us. Ultimately, this case highlights the need for a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between free speech, power, and representation in our hyperreal world. By examining the ways in which simulations and models shape our reality, we can begin to develop new strategies for navigating this complex landscape and promoting more equitable forms of expression and influence. Thank you for listening to today's episode of French Philosophers React. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more reflective takes on the day's news.